Hey guys, Mark here with anything and everything. I'm gonna do some voice overing, some voice record over of the job that I did. Got some video recording it. I didn't get everything. Camera died, and it was a hot day, and I ran into some trouble greasing the machine. Apparently, I had missed a grease point, and I got some squeaking going on, and I think it's in this video. And it's me screwing around trying to get to these grease joints, and I still missed the one. It's a hard one to miss. It's on the side towards the bottom, the ground, and I don't know how I missed it, but finally got grease in it though. But I ran out of grease on the job site, and I just did my best with what I could and try not to keep lifting the arm very high because you can hear it, squeaking. I don't think I got all that in there. I just let the camera die, and basically this is me spreading some crushed red granite or rotten granite, what do you want to call it. The Bobcat I'm using is a T595. It's 2019. I got it with about 970, 980 hours on it. It's a fantastic machine. It's way better than any wheel machine, and basically because it's tracks. That's the only reason why it's better. Otherwise, the wheel machine I have is just as well, not just powerful, but powerful for the size that it is. And that's an S450 that I use, or that I have, that I'm actually trying to get rid of. But I would highly recommend any wheel machine if that's what's in your budget. But track machines float. This machine that I'm using right here, as you can see, I'm running towards my vehicle. The guy, what am I grabbing? Who knows? Oh, probably my can of chew. And the tracks on this thing, they're worn. I mentioned it to the guy when I was buying it that the tracks they got some wear to them. Now this thing was a rental unit, so it's to me it was treated fairly well. It doesn't look like there's much, if any, damage done to it besides obviously some wear and tear on the paint, such as scratches and whatnot from branches and everything. We don't live in a city, so we got a bunch of trees around us. And if I didn't, I'd shut the audio off on the video because it's really annoying and fast forward, or in a time lapse, whatever you want to call it. But the birds were nonstop chirping, and all the squirrels chattering and whatnot, and chipmunks doing whatever they do, running around. But anyways, it's not like the city. When people rent these things, they're clearing lots and they're working in tight spaces where houses are being built right next to the tree line. People are literally running them through their forest or fitting them back in the areas for landscaping and whatnot. You can see here what I'm trying to do is get a roughly like 2 to 4 inches, and I know that sounds like a big difference, but the way the land shape is, I wasn't trying to fill in empty areas. He didn't want the whole area flattened off, so there's some points that are deeper than others. So 4 inches deeper compared to other areas. But along the driveway, I put a little bit extra. I dug that out right next to that's a blacktop driveway right next to the blacktop. And I put a little bit extra in there. And I do compact this. Compactor I had to rent, so I don't know much about it. It was a nice compactor, that's for sure. Slow but nice. It was heavy, so it's not 1,000-pound compactor, but it does be worth it. This is the other area. I had to do it right next to his pole building. And this is 2 loads, and I actually had to take some of this and bring it over to the other side because it's a much smaller area. And he just wanted me to spread it out, and I spread it out right next to his garage and everything. Now, what would have been good, and he does know this, the homeowner, is taking out that washed rock next to it. so that I can keep the slope away from the garage, but I did my best to keep it sloped towards the middle or completely towards the back. You can't really tell, but it is sloped towards the back right now, running towards the back end of the garage. It's hardly sloped away from it, but it is. But as you can see, I'm filling in all that area. So I try to get as close as I can without actually getting right on the garage, because then we would be above the slab of the garage, which means you would have water going into your garage, and obviously he would not want that. It was a fun little project, to be honest. It's not like I could have probably done a lot faster if I knew what I was really doing, but to be honest, this is my first project like this, minus doing stuff for my own house. But it wasn't hard. And like I said, I did compact it, make it a little bit water resistant, or let the water shut off of it instead of run through it. He hasn't seen it in person yet. This is his soon to be retirement house or whatever in the next 10 years or something. So he keeps some toys up here and whatnot, and he loves snowmobiling. So this would be a nice little area for him to keep his snowmobiles and stuff when he comes up, and his friends and other family members come up to join him. He's actually a really nice guy. He keeps adding more work onto it. He's about an hour away from me though. So I mean, he wants me to mow his lawn and stuff on a bi-weekly basis, which is fine. His grass doesn't grow fast. I think this is where I run into the greasing issue. I can hear that arm squeaking. I believe it's on this side of the machine. Yeah, I'm cleaning the Zerk when it shoot anything, but that's because it'll load that. The grease fitting will take grease if the arm is up. I didn't know that, so I find it out later. But the grease point is actually why those counterweights. That's where it was squeaking, but it was squeaking up the whole entire arm, and it sounded like it was coming right, right where that black bar is going towards the bucket, a stabilization bar or something, whatever that's called. That works the hydraulic in there and everything. But no, it was the grease zerk down by the weights. You see just a little black dot there. That's a grease zerk. And I can't believe I missed it. I greased the machine before I left too, and I still didn't. I greased it when I got it. I used it for a few hours. I greased it before I left for this job. So I mean the joints were packed full of grease, but I had washed the thing too after I got it. And I mean, I really tried to wash it and get some of that grease off of the machine and everything around the zerks and in the obviously the areas that you grease that people pack full of grease, but they never wipe it off. That stuff can fall off on people's driveways, and I actually had some grease fall off on this dude's driveway. So hopefully, I let him know, and hopefully he's not as upset as I was. So that's just something, take your finger, wipe it off, put on a paper towel, throw it out, sort of situation. Like I'm doing there. I'm actually cleaning that out because it is just, even after I wash it, I use degreaser, and there is still just so much grease, even by the bucket. I missed some area, but yeah. So I kind of just went with it. I'm not trying to lift the bucket up hardly at all now because I can't. Every time I lift it like that, you can hear it just. It's like, and I was so confused on what I was missing, but I actually did find where that Zerk was after the fact, though. Pretty much after I was done, I got out of the machine. I was like, oh yeah, it just dawned on me where that grease. So I went and grabbed the grease gun, and the grease gun was pretty much empty. I was like, are you serious? So that was really upsetting. Yeah, I don't know if I got that part in the video or not, but take care of your equipment. Basically, don't let it go and become a pile of junk just because you don't feel like greasing anything. And be honest, use the manual. It's worth it. But anyways, this is Mark with Anything and Everything, and that's pretty much all I got.